Friends, in this video, I am going to discuss the chalkboard skills based on my experience and expertise. About 47 years ago, when I joined the teaching profession, I immediately purchased a chalkboard and started practicing on it before I go to the class. As I practice, I have learned many new skills of using the chalkboard. After teaching the first year, I received a positive feedback about the effective use of the chalkboard besides other strengths. That feedback inspired me. Since then, during my entire career, spanning about 4 decades, chalkboard has been an important tool in my teaching besides other teaching aids. In this video, I am sharing many chalkboard skills which are very important in order to make your lesson interesting, effective, and engaging. I would quote Josiah Bomstead, who mentioned way back 1841, "Blackboard, the best contributor to learning." The inventor or introducer of the blackboard deserves to be ranked among the best contributors to learning, if not the best benefactors of mankind. Why is chalkboard effective in teaching learning process? Let us discuss. When chalkboard is used effectively in the class, it is a force making a sense of unity in the class. When all eyes are focused on the chalkboard, the class is united with itself and with the teacher. This sense of unity is important as it improves the teacher's ability to teach and the pupil's capacity to learn. Chalkboard is a medium of interaction between the teacher and the students. It's a visual teaching aid. It helps ease of presentation. Self-pacing is possible. It allows flexibility and spontaneity. Student involvement is nurtured. Organization of the lesson, building up the story are of great advantage. Notes taking by the teachers is complete. It develops students' drawing skills. It brings greater coherence to the lesson. It helps structured teaching style. It helps gaining attention and interest of students in the subject. It helps in greater retention of the subject. It helps in better classroom management. Some other reasons to use the chalkboard: to plan, control, and pace the interaction and discussion. As a workspace for brainstorming, problem solving, practice, and discussion. For visual presentation of the course material. To compare and contrast different theories and analysis. To consolidate results or conclusions. Examples from different subjects. Maths, working out problems step by step by active participation of students simultaneously. Physics, derivations, working out problems with active participation of students. Chemistry and pharmacy, stoichiometry, chemical equations, chemical formulae, structures, mechanism of reactions, botany and zoology, drawing diagrams and explanation. Engineering graphics explain the skills of engineering drawing. Civil and mechanical engineering, designs, problems, mathematical equations and derivations. Electrical engineering and ECE, drawing circuits, electrical circuits and electronic circuits. Computer science, teaching programming languages, theory of computation, etc. Management and history, to facilitate discussion, brainstorming, case study analysis. Economics, sociology, education, to compare and contrast different theories and analysis. Commerce, to work out problems, credit debit analysis, languages, grammar, new vocabulary, and discussion points. Types of matter to be written on the chalkboard. Learning outcomes of the class session in brief. New terms and definitions. statements of hypothesis in brief, drawing graphs, formulae, equations and derivations, working out the solutions to problems, concepts and ideas that advance the discussion. You see, posture of the teacher is very important. I have shown here the posture. The chalkboard size must actually be bigger than it is shown here. Only for showing the posture, the size available at home is used. See, as you write, how you stand at near the blackboard. Chalkboard is shown here. Salient points to observe while using the chalkboard. Write legibly with letter size large enough to be read clearly by any student sitting in the farthest bench in the class. Posture is very important, as I mentioned, as shown also. Stand at 45 degrees to the board. As you write, students must be able to note down. Move your body as you write. Bend at knees when writing low. Colored chalks on a green chalkboard, yellow chalks are good for headings. White chalks are good for other material. Don't use more than 3 colors. Underlining. Underline the main headings. Rectangular boxes. Put the most important conclusions, final equation of a derivation and definitions in rectangular boxes. Students will find it easy to understand when they refer to the notes during the revision later. Abbreviations. Use abbreviations of names only after you introduce them in full form. Writing and explanation must go hand in hand simultaneously. As you write, you look at the students, explain. Again you write, look at the students and explain. That is how it should go on. Tools for drawing shapes, figures, etc. Ruler, compass and other devices to draw drawings, different shapes, graphs, diagrams, etc. wherever necessary must be used. Organize and practice using chalkboard in advance before you go to the class. Use a pointer while discussing the chalkboard material. Present the material briefly using simple sentences or phrases. Planning the use of chalkboard in the class. Erase the chalkboard completely at the start of the class. Use zones on the board for specific purposes. For example, left edge of the board for the outline of the class plan. Right edge for writing brief statements or conclusions. Middle zone, that is large area, for developing the unknown lesson content based on the interaction of the class. The middle zone is exclusively for interaction of the class. Based on the interaction, you go on writing. Use zones consistently in a class and erase the matter zone-wise. Don't erase a zone if you will need the material again later. Plan beforehand the organization of chalkboard work. Quality of chalks and how to use them. Please use dustless chalks. Holding the chalks is very important between thumb and forefinger very, very carefully so that you can write legibly and clearly. Enough chalks in the classroom, including the colored ones, must be available. Quality of dusters also is very, very important. Chalkboard size. Classrooms often use larger sizes like 4 into 8 feet. Distance between the chalkboard and the first row. The minimum recommended distance between a chalkboard and the front edge of the first row of desk is 2.2 meters. This is according to the Indian standards, IS 8827 of 1978. Periodical painting of the board is necessary to have greater clarity of the writing part. How not to use the chalkboard. Do not write large procedures or descriptions. Do not write irrelevant information. Do not overwrite. Do not scribble. Do not stand in front of the material what you just wrote. Do not erase the material on the board too soon after you wrote. Conclusion. If a teacher has the skill of using the chalkboard effectively, he can make his classroom teaching and learning among students very effective. It is strongly recommended that newly recruited teachers must practice using the chalkboard during the first year of their service based on the salient points discussed in this lecture. Thank you very much.